of Bramble Jam Podcast.
It's Thursday, March 4th. You should take the day off. Go. Peekaboo. 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 Peek, 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 peekaboo.
Peekaboo, baby, peekaboo, yeah. Peekaboo, here we go. Here's a snack. I like peekaboos, yes, I do. Don't scare me or I'll scare you. Hey, hey.
One time I peekabooed all day.
No.
One time I peekabooed, said, hey,
Oh.
peekaboo right now, you'll feel better.
Oh.
Peekaboo right now, don't say shedder.
Shedder?
Shedder. Like
Shedder.
my dog's a shedder.
Oh, a shedder.
Yeah.
Cheddar. Nothing but cheddar. It's-
Take the day off on a Thursday, baby.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
So hungry to be here.
I woke up with a little pep in my
step.
step. And I hope you did as well.
You got it.
It is a very exciting day. It is National Grammar Day.
Oof.
National Grammar Day. You love grammar.
I love grammar, and it comes naturally. My mom was an English teacher. That was her job. She also was a literal contest-winning typer on typewriters. She typed a lot and had to use proper grammar in the process. So I was corrected at a very young age on a number of grammatical mistakes that other children just got to live their lives and not know. And she did it so nicely and kindly. She didn't do it.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't get that.
no,
that
I didn't get that. No, my mom cannot say a bad word about anybody. She's encouraging all the time. She can't be sarcastic. I did not get that from her. I got that from Dad, I believe, that side of things. But the grammar, big deal in my house.
Daddy. Grammar Day is an exciting day. I was reading an essay written by Frank. It's essaysbyfrank.com.
Yeah, essaysbyfrank.com.
He just writes, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're offensive. Sometimes he does a lot of things on that website. It is interesting. And the essay that I was reading yesterday was an argument for more zoos, which I was surprised at. It was an interesting take. He was more zoos.
He wanted more zoos.
He wants more zoos.
animals in captivity.
Yes. So he was writing about that,
Okay.
and it was a fascinating argument.
Okay.
And he slips in there like lions don't know any better, like stuff like that. And then in the middle, he says, by the way, did you know that Dan knows about National Grammar Day?
I don't know if I'm happy about that association.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
His website's great, though.
Yeah. Of course it is. That's fair.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Of course I know about. Come on, who wouldn't? The wrestler.
I don't.
The wrestler Chris Jericho rose to fame
Y2J.
in the 90s and then still became famous in the 2000s for unknown reasons. And he also hates grammar, the language grammar, but he loves Andy Grammer, the singer. Huge grammar head. Use Grammar Nut. In fact, he, would go to follow around. He'd be like an Andy Grammer groupie. And he would follow Andy Grammer around on his massive tours, and he'd sing all the songs in the front row. Got to the point where they had to it was a restraining order, so to speak, on Chris Jericho from Andy Grammer. But Chris Jericho, in order to make sure everyone knew how much he stands Andy Grammer, he established National Grammar Day, so we could take a day to celebrate the singer-songwriter Andy Grammer, and everyone took it to mean like English grammar. And Jericho's still mad about it, but the day is done. There's nothing we can do. So here we are, Brian. Back to you.
Did you know that Chris Jericho is in a band called Fozzy?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's in a band. He tours. It's nothing like Andy Grammer. So it's interesting that in between his wrestling career
And Fozzy.
and his music career,
He loves him some
and
Andy
his
Grammer.
podcasting career, because he has a podcast as well,
It's wild.
that he also follows around Andy Grammer.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I don't know how much Grammer's doing these days, but back in the day.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
This is almost a decade ago.
Almost a decade ago. Andy Grammer, you don't think he's doing much anymore?
I mean, I don't think he's touring right now.
No,
one
but is he putting out music?
I don't know.
No, that is the correct one. Grammar's interesting, and
Andy Grammer's latest album, Naive, 2019.
Oh wow, not long ago.
That's right.
So many hits on that one,
So many
including "Look at Me, Look at Me."
Down the staircase.
Down the staircase was a
one.
good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Down the staircase, baby, down the staircase, down the staircase, yeah.
That's Andy Grammer. Yeah, that's him. When did Keep Your Head Up come out?
Gotta keep your head up. Oh, 2014.
No, I said 10 years ago, and I was exactly right. 2011.
Wow,
Keep Your Head Up.
unbelievable. That guy's been doing it for a while.
For a decade.
Do you like grammar a lot? Do you find yourself do you ever correct yourself?
I do. Regular basis. You know, if I make a mistake, even texting, I usually correct
Oh
it.
gosh, it's so annoying. It's like I know what you meant. Like you don't need to correct it.
But I want to.
I know you do,
And
but
I think that's the hardest part is that when people think that I'm petty because I correct these tiny things. And the reality is I'm not petty. I don't keep track of like who owes me anything. I don't really I don't hold grudges, but I want people to do that to me. Like I want people to give me a hard time if I speak improperly. Like I do. And so that's kind of what I manifest out in the world, and people don't like it. So I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It just is a natural.
But like, if everybody did that for everything that they
No,
want
that's
people
true.
to, like, oh, I want people to give me back massages randomly, so I'm going to go around and bloop, bloop, bloop.
The other thing you need to know is I don't do that for if we have a guest on Deck the Hallmark, I don't correct their grammar.
Is it hard for you?
Yes, but I don't. If I don't know you, I'm not going to correct your grammar. If you don't know who I am, I'm not going to correct your grammar. That's not okay. That's not polite. But if we have a rapport or a banter or we have an understanding, then I'm 100% going to give you a hard time.
How, I know we've known each other for a long time, but how do I get in that first category where you just let me live my life? It would be very nice to just live my life. I just want to live my life.
Someone else would pick up the slack, Brian.
Yeah,
There's a lot of slack to be picked up. Someone else would pick it up.
That's fine. It's fine. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about grammatical things that we all have hard times with. Here on Take the Day Off. Grammar. What's their name? Grammar. Hammer.
It's a good one.
Thank you. Grammatical mistakes that we tend to have a hard time with.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you know of?
All of them.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with commas.
Yeah.
I have a hard time
that would be my biggest one. I have because sometimes I overuse commas.
I know I overuse commas.
I love the Oxford comma. Do you even know what the Oxford comma is?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what it is?
I know I've heard it, but I don't.
So if you're listing three or more things, so if it was two, you'd just be blank and blank, and you don't need a comma. If you listen three or more things, it used to be before the and in the last one. So if I said, my favorite snacks are Reese Cups, Sour Patch Kids, and Snickers, it used to be Reese Cups, comma, Sour Patch Kids, comma, and Snickers.
Yes, but they've taken
now,
away.
You don't have to use that second comma. I use it religiously, the Oxford comma. In typing, you no longer have to do two spaces after a sentence. I still do two spaces. It drives people nuts because that's how I learned to type, and I type really fast. I always double tap. That's exactly right. I can tell you ones that I used growing up. Like, if there's one that I'm doing all the time, someone please tell me and I'll stop it. Ones I used growing up that were mistakes. Anyways. It's never anyways. It's always anyway. Always singular. Yeah.
But here's my thing. Who cares? Who cares? Somebody at some point decided that was a rule.
That's right.
And I'm deciding it doesn't apply to me.
It's syntax. It's language. It just is like, what if you decided you were playing a song and then you just want to change the chords of the song because it didn't matter to you?
Music is beautiful regardless.
Okay, language isn't beautiful regardless, and neither is music. But there's a certain correct way to speak. And sometimes it is very dumb, but there's a correct way to speak. Anyways, a big one. Whom, big one. The key for that for me is if you would replace it with him or her, it's whom. If you would replace it with he or she, it's who. That's the best way to do it.
Who do you think you are? So I did that correctly.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? Because it's not,
right.
It's after the object. Okay, forget it. Yeah. Those two, regard is never plural. Regards. So like if you say like regards, if you end your emails with regards,
First of all, wear your pearls.
wear your pearls is right.
Good Lord.
But like if you hold
Best regards.
so it would always be if you hold someone in the highest regards can be plural, but it's almost always singular. If you hold someone in the highest regard, it would never be highest regards. Like it's almost always singular.
Highest regard.
The highest regard. That's right. Not the
But don't
highest
some
regards.
people end things with best regards?
I think they do.
But it's wrong. Best regard.
I don't know if you would say best regard either. But anyway, like that one, let's see. Like stuff like that. But commas are really the thing that bother me when I'm writing, for sure.
Aaron says lay down versus lie down.
Oh, yeah. That's that one's no fun.
Forget about it.
Allison says who, whom, whose. Yeah, that's a classic as well.
Elizabeth says inflated sentences. Sometimes it's hard to know when to shut it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard. Yeah. People are saying a lot for you. I don't. Tracy says I don't make them. But seriously, I'm a grammar Nazi. Case in point, I was asked to read scripture in church last week, but I had to correct the little opening statement that was given to me because it was a terrible preposition, misread modifier situation.
Misplaced modifiers are my
Tracy,
favorite.
you and Dan can get together and just
Colleen S., this is my favorite
yuck it
one.
up.
Her answer is, and reveal to Daniel any grammatical weakness I may have. I think not. Nice try. Love that answer. But my favorite answer is Sarah Brinkman, who says, rage against grammar. Rage against made-up rules for a different made-up thing that's naturally fluid and ever-changing. When grammar doesn't reflect the way language is spoken, it's not language that is wrong. And she said all that in perfectly proper grammar.
I agree with her 100%.
There has to be a structural backbone of order. The reality is I don't like when you go to Latin America. I don't know how much time we have to do this, but when you go to Latin America, like my mom spoke Spanish to me growing up. I don't know Spanish. I'm not fluent in Spanish, but as you can attest, I usually can get by in a foreign country, and I just put together the words broken. The people that you meet in Latin America don't care if you get the grammar right, if you conjugate the word right. They are so thrilled that you're speaking their language. And so they care more if you're trying the accent. My grammar was terrible. And so at a very base level of communication, grammar doesn't matter. Sarah Brinkman is right. But in a manner to present yourself as best you can for whatever you need in life, having proper grammar helps. It's also just fun. It's fun to nitpick.
Look at what I'm wearing, though. You think I care about presenting my best self?
But if you went to a job interview,
yes,
you wouldn't wear that.
Depends on the job.
Depends on the job. No. You and I both know what I'm trying to say here.
Sure.
Yeah. You wouldn't look like a living Hot Wheel.
That's exactly right. Who says this?
You even got racer finish lines on the side.
I sure do. Andy says affect or effect.
Yeah, that's easy. Effect, E is a noun, A is not a noun. So adjective or a verb.
What are nouns, though? Missy says, not me, but I once had a boss called the exclamation point an explanation point instead of explanation. Like, that's just incorrect.
Yeah,
that's
the
just
name.
Wrong. It's the name of it is an explanation.
Michelle says, the only mistake I've made regarding grammar is never having seen Frasier. In parentheses, please laugh. Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, okay. Last for me is Lee, who says further or farther.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I actually don't.
I don't know the rule for further or farther.
You're getting further away. I think farther. What's farther? What's further? I feel like further just sounds
farther
right.
refers to actual distances between objects. Further refers to figurative distances. So if I said you have to travel farther to work than I do, that would be correct because it's a distance thing. But
it also just sounds like an accent thing too.
Yeah,
like I feel like depending on where you are in the country, like you're always going to sound like you're saying further.
But if you were like, we really need to work on this further before we move forward. But I would never say we need to work on this farther. I would never say we need to work on this farther.
I don't know if I ever say farther.
Yeah.
I feel like I
do. That I think I've been following this rule.
Okay. Maybe I'll
deep
give
in
it
my
some
brain,
thought. I'll
yeah.
give this one some thought because I do feel like
Give it some further thought.
I'll give it some farther thought. Who says farther? I'll give it some farther thought.
You had to run farther than I did. Like if it's a very specific,
I had to run further.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
It's farther.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm thinking to myself. I feel like I always say further.
Sarah Corcolis, it's Greek. I want to pronounce it correct. Says I spell my name wrong often.
We'll be back tomorrow with another exciting episode of Take the Day Off, where the question is, what tech doesn't exist yet, but
She
you
clarifies
hope will
on a
eventually?
keyboard G and H are close to each other.
Tech doesn't exist that you hope will eventually. We're going to get to those tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful day. Correcting your grammar here. Take the day off.
This haiku is from Brian Harold, and it is, how is war legal? It's not hard to just be good. Clammy for Congress. That's a quality haiku. Say what you will.
We're done.